Hello and welcome to your appointment viewing right here on NewsX. For the past almost 4 months, we have dedicated an hour of our time here in prime time on this channel to get you crucial voices in one belief that as an Indian story, we are all in the same boat and we all now need to succeed together. If we want to think local, we have to think about the local wealth creators, the thinkers, the entrepreneurs that are getting out there and pushing and shoving this economy at perhaps the greatest time of challenge that we've seen for several generations. Let's open up this telecast today. Let me quickly introduce everyone joining us in the broadcast. We have M. Yashwant Nag. He's founder of The Thick Shake. We also have on the broadcast with us Birju Nayak, co-founder and CEO of Credin. Mr. Roy, Satanik Roy, co-founder of HyperExchange.com. Iti Tyagi, founder of India Craft Week. Preeti Katpal, who's an MC. Ms. Sonam Chabra, who's also a live host, actor and entrepreneur, and as always, Dr. Anurag Batra, editor-in-chief of Business World, joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Batra, as always, why don't you set up today's conversation?
Thank you, Rishabh. I just watched your interview with Nambi Narayan, and it was very good. I enjoyed watching it and listening to him. Rishabh, as we've been doing over the last 3.5 months, today we have a set of creative entrepreneurs from all sectors of the economy. And let me first start with Yashwant. Yashwant, you were on the show 2 months back. You had 130 outlets of the Thick Shake factory. But since then, you pivoted and you moved to a cloud kitchen model. So how have things improved for you? What has changed since the time we spoke to you last?
So Dr. Batra, thank you very much for having me on the show. About 2 months back, I think it was about 4 months back when the lockdown was just beginning, we had this very conversation. And, it was expected that 50 to 60% of the restaurants would have been shutting down. And today, right? So today, most of the restaurants actually don't have a choice. And currently, so we had to pivot completely from our physical restaurant model to a cloud kitchen model. So rather than waiting for our customers to walk in, which are for the next several months until we have a vaccination, we rather go to the customers, and we are betting big on the cloud kitchens model, mainly because the delivery is, it's increasing like anything. And today the delivery experience is what we are really working upon. And we are looking to create being a single, rather than from being a single brand owner of the Thick Shake factory. What we had done in about 6.5 years since we started up, we are trying to achieve more than that in the next 6 months, let me put it this way. So we are going to open about in the next 15 months, that's what we are looking at. And 50 of them will be operational in about 3.5 months of time. So yeah, I mean, we had no choice, but the pandemic has actually forced our hand, but for the better.
And Yashwant, I'm aware that you started a new business for the contactless economy. Tell us a bit about one. I know you pivoted in your main business, as you shared, by setting up cloud kitchens, adding new lines of products, food products. But also tell us about your hygiene business that you started and the medical supplies business. Rishabh, this is what is good about Indian entrepreneurs. They go where the opportunity is and create, go to market in a very short span of time. So Yashwant, it would be inspiring for other people to know about the 2 other businesses you started.
As you know, Dr. Batra, all of us were sitting at home staring at what to do, and then the lockdown will start. So we felt that there will be a huge market for sanitization and the hygienic space in the in the months forward. And thankfully we were right. So we started a company called Sterilite, right? So this is a brand that was conceptualized only. And we were actually one of the first ones to start this in India. Today, a lot of people have been doing it. So we have been, coming up with the sprays, and we went to market within a very, very short time, within 20 days after the inception of the idea. And we have also been sanitizing the airport and also other airports as well as we have a corporate tie-up with Uber, Ola, Meru, and so on for sanitization of the cabs. So we were actually one of the very first in the markets as early as March ending, so that we could actually get onto it very, very quickly since our inception. Enjoy a very healthy market share in this this market is just exploding, right? So in the last 3-4 months, I think more than $3-4 billion of business was happening in the PPE kit industry as well as sanitization and the healthy hygienic space. So this is not a pivot on extinction.
An entirely new business opportunity.
Entirely new business opportunity, and nobody knew what to do. So we are figuring out things as we go.
Okay, Sonam, apart from being an anchor of events, you also have starred in, films and OTT space. Tell us, that space has been totally devastated. I mean, shootings have come back in some form. Physical events are not happening. Online doesn't have the yields like it used to be. So what are you doing as an individual entrepreneur to pivot and make sure you make your livelihood?
Dr. Batra, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, first of all. And a big hello to you and a big hello to everybody on the panel. Of course, it's been extremely tough for all of us artists and everybody in the Indian experiential events domain. We've lost about more than 10 million jobs in our industry, and that's a humongous number. When you talk of MICE, Dr. Batra, you talk of meetings, travel, corporate incentives, etc. It's about 5 lakh crore business, and that's huge, which has been affected and completely come to a halt. And of course, shootings have been affected. I myself had so many shootings scheduled during the pandemic, and nothing could happen, and it's still not opening up. There's of course fear psychosis out there. I truly believe that when you can't go outside, just go inside. So I've rediscovered myself, reinvented myself. I'm now the co-founder of a startup, and we're doing something on e-commerce, and God's been kind and it's taken off, and things are moving. So I think it's time for all artists to kind of reinvent themselves and look at various talents that they have. Events which were growing at double digits is completely come to a halt. And but I'm hopeful because a large part of our business has moved virtual, has moved online, and I must appreciate the entire industry and all the professionals who've come together to do this, and they've really adapted really fast. I also think IEMA, our apex body, has gone on to the government, and we've submitted SOPs to open up events in a big way, and we're all hopeful, and we're just sitting here and hoping for better times to come.
Thank you so much, Sonam. You're right. You have to go within, and then you find ideas for business. You're able to stay equanimous, as they say in Bhagavad Gita, and Swami Vivekananda said, whether it's a joy or sorrow, you have to have the same, equanimity of state. So it's easier said than done. But yes, this shall too pass. You have to find new ways. So possibly build a digital avatar. Satanik, coming to you, what have people around you, entrepreneurs around you, benefited from the economic stimulus? What has happened to your business, and what are you doing to find opportunities in the marketplace? Satanik?
Thanks, Dr. Batra. So first of all, to start with, yes, of course, the economy had a huge fall, 29% GDP fall we see. But if you look at the other side, we actually see a all-time high Sensex right now. Jio probably has taken off the market entirely altogether with the investments from Facebook, Google, and everyone out there. So I would rather look at this as a hypothetical event where, to quote Sonam once again, like we need to reinvent ourselves and probably adopt ourselves, right? I come from the retail industry, so basically e-commerce has been our forte over the past 4 years. Hyper Exchange, we have grown from scratch from a dorm room startup to a couple of $1 million in valuation right now. And if you see the market right now, most of the people are actually probably won't go out anytime soon, right? They will probably prefer online shopping. The numbers are significant, where the inflation and probably the growth in the online e-commerce was 5% and a stable growth for the last couple of years. This year, all of a sudden, we see over 30% jump. That really speaks. And as said, like most of the industries are reinventing themselves. We at Hyper Exchange, we have been working deeply with virtual reality. We are bringing the customer a VR experience altogether, and this is something that has that is a lot more than just regular e-commerce, right? Where you probably go find a product and probably shop. over here you actually feel that experience, that retail therapy we used to have probably every weekend.
Thank you so much. Possibly your category is the one that has seen a positive impact because physical retail has its issues current now, both in terms of the consumer side, plus also, it is more convenient sometimes to order online. You've seen a positive growth, and now IPL and Diwali are around the corner. So hopefully it'll be fantastic time for all e-commerce players. You can see in the advertising that is coming back from them. Let me go to Iti Tyagi. Iti, now you represent the craft sector, and you had your own physical events, the Craft Week. Now, are people buying stuff like that? Is it essential? What is happening to those craftsmen? Because their livelihoods have shrunk. So give us a sense of what's happening in your space.
Mr. Batra, craft and art is the last thing. It's luxury. It's not anyone's essential. It's not like a sanitizer or a mask that you would just jump into the market to buy. So craft industry is not doing very well. And the craftsmen have really, gone into bad shape because there hasn't been any package announced for them. And, the latest news came that almost 800 weavers from one of the village almost quit the entire weaving because there was no supply, there was nothing coming to them. And how much can you buy a craft on e-commerce? Again, it's not essential. So what we have done is we have announced our next chapter of India Craft Week in the coming year in the month of February. We were supposed to do the event in December, but then
one thing you're clear that in the next few months Corona will go away much before.
Sir, even if it doesn't go away, we will have to live with it. We will have to adjust with it. We'll have to join hands with it. Like we just heard from Sonam that how event industry has been affected and the shoots have got affected. We understand, we work with a lot of vendors, we work with the entire event industry. Everybody, big or small, has got affected. So we have at least announced it that there will be some situation, we will be coming up. So government has said, okay, 100 people can gather at an event. I'm hoping that by February, it should reach to 500 or 1,000 at a time. What we're going to do is we're going to announce that with appointments, like you do today, in a restaurant, you go with appointment. So in event, there are various sectors, like there are symposiums. So we're gonna make sure that there are gonna be, registrations, prior registrations.
Smaller.
Absolutely.
But what I want to see is what is the loss to the craft sector? If there wasn't Corona, from March till September, what would have been your sales? Because that a part of it would have gone to the craft person. So give a sense of what's the loss.
March to September is a time when they make something. They don't sell anything. You see, they start selling now. When Indian market works according to festivals. When you have Raksha Bandhan, then Dussehra, Diwali, Durga Puja coming up. So this is a time when craftsmen should have been selling. But because situations hasn't been better, because the events are not really happening, so craftsmen definitely have got terribly affected. And it is not going to be like good it's going to be another 2 years when they will be settling down to their normal what they work. So it's really in a bad shape.
And you always can do a virtual event. It's not the same. And partner with possibly Satanic, you can click there and buy the.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
VR can help you kind of experience the product. It can't be same like a physical retail, but it can be.
Yeah.
At this point, let me bring in Preeti. Preeti, you heard Sonam, you heard Iti, you heard Satanic and Yashwant. Now, what are you doing? Because you come from the same domain as Sonam. To reinvent yourself. The experiential events domain is come to a halt. There is a digital kind of angle to the events industry, but it doesn't get too much revenue, even for the organizers. I mean, they're doing digital events virtually, but revenues are 10%, 20%. They're nowhere close to 100%. So
Absolutely.
What are you doing to reinvent yourself? What's keeping you busy? And what is your advice to other people who are facing similar challenges?
For the first few months of the lockdown, I really went through a low phase, but then I started definitely reinventing myself. I've done a lot of courses. I have, am I audible?
Very much. We can hear you. We can see you. Preeti, go on.
Right. So I've done a couple of courses. I've explored various new talents. I've done a makeup course. I've done an acting course.
In fact, the industry, our show business, always believes in show must go on. And I feel that right now, a lot of events have started. Sonam must be knowing they have a lot of weddings happening in North Delhi, has a lot of weddings. Rajasthan has a lot of weddings. In fact, the film industry has also really tried to do
They've
something.
started to come back. They've
Shooting,
started to come back.
shooting
They're still, it is very tough, but they've started to come back.
I
New
myself
content is
shot
being
for a TV ad for a pharmaceutical product. I shot an ad last month. It was highly unsafe because we have to have a lot of people on set for the product to come out. Where you can't have 4 people make a proper ad. That could have been possible if you were shooting in your own home. In fact, a lot of web series, if you see, OTT platforms have worked hard. They've come up with something very creative.
Okay. I think we got a call and we'll get Birju in. Yeah,
At
you
the
were
same
talking. Go ahead. Complete.
At the same time, I've been learning a lot of things. I haven't read as many books that I have read in this time ever in my life. I mean, in such a short time, I've
So
completed
basically, what
over.
Preeti, you are saying to me is that they say that when the fishermen are not fishing, they kind of tighten their nets. You know, you have upskilled yourself. You try to make yourself relevant to the new economy. So what both you and Sonam have said here are very relevant. One is go with it. That means be mentally strong that it shall pass. Second is prepare yourself for the new digital economy. Add on skills, learn new stuff, and then you could possibly make up for what you've lost in the last 6 months. Coming to Birju. Birju, as an entrepreneur, how have you pivoted during lockdown? Have you seen people around you getting the benefit of the economic stimulus, and how do you see the economy going forward?
So actually, we at Credin, we are a fintech, and we are pivoting segment-specific credit products. So as far as the agenda Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is very good as a theme, but I think there is not lot of work needs to be done. Currently it is running in silos because you cannot promote it upfront as a Atmanirbhar Bharat because there are people, there are businesses, and there is a government. So you have to have some framework which actually collaborate everyone. So what happened is like there are different industries and businesses who are impacted not as a whole, but there is some area where they are impacted. So government actually needs to get into the industry and business cycles.
What you are saying is there is a sectoral intervention needed. And
Exactly.
you know, while I have no formal way to say it or I have no priority, but my hunch is that the government at some stage in the next 30 to 60 days will do sectoral intervention. And let me
Exactly.
give you 4 industries.
So I'll give you the example, Anurag.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, Birju. Yes.
if the car is punctured, you cannot replace a car. You have to fix a puncture. So business has different functions. It is there is supply, there is a demand. So where actually the hit is, government has to intervene there.
You're saying
Declaring a
the
fact that
healthcare
it will not
issue,
work.
the government should solve the healthcare issue, the economic issue will get solved. Is that what you're saying?
No, so for example, just before this our meeting, I went to a distributor just to promote my product because we are actually getting into businesses and where our product will fit into the entire business cycle. So as we are actually pivoting use cases and as a credit where I can fit my product and enable that ecosystem. So they are saying like earlier business used to work in credit cycles, monthly cycles. So during lockdown, that cycle got hit. So it is important to actually help them reviving those cycles. So declaring something where it will actually reach to him, it is, I think there is very much.
I know where you're getting. And dare I say, Birju, I believe part of what you say, that it's a credit issue. You know, let me, for our viewers, let me make it simpler. There are a lot of creditors who we don't know which one will pay because either they're folded up or they're themselves conserving cash or they have to be paid by somebody else who hasn't paid them. So we don't know what is the actual credit situation. At best, we have a guess based on past experience and the current information we have. So, in some way, the current economic crisis is a credit issue. Because while we may show it as on our books, we don't know whether it's coming or not because we don't know what the financial position of a lot of SMEs. right? Who
Correct.
basically earn and spend. So let me also go to Satanik at this point and Yashwant. Satanik, there is a real worry that startups, you're in a good space, but a lot of startups who are in, let's say, travel, hospitality, experiential, their revenues have taken a hit. Also, they've not been able to raise fresh capital. So there is a fear that they've held up for the last 5-6 months, but they may go down now. So is that a real fear, Yashwant and Satanik, or we are just exaggerating it on a news channel? Satanik?
I'll go first. So basically, first of all, to reply to your point, I would say something like people are buying. People are buying no matter what. Probably today, as an e-commerce player, you might not be selling lipsticks anymore, right? But you are selling masks out there.
I may disagree, because today you have to look good on the screen. Possibly Nykaa sales are more than ever. Who knows? I mean, you don't buy a lipstick, so you don't know.
Maybe.
Unless until you buy lipstick for yourself or somebody else. But my hunch is anything that has to do with grooming. I mean, I'm wearing a jacket, technology product. Today you have to look good on the screen. So you have to, we all have become screenagers. We are no longer teenagers. We are spending much more screen time. And if you're in the business where you want to look good, and so who knows? But I get your point that overall,
Something is selling out there.
There are product categories that are not doing well.
Exactly. There are product categories and things are selling out there. The only thing is probably you are not able to, if you're not able to sell your product right out there, probably you just need to repackage it, sell it something else. Because over the years, if you have seen, say, any of the biggest startup names out there, Amazon, Uber, everyone happened actually out of of economic
upheaval.
Yes, where the economy was almost out. Right, that is the point where Uber, Amazon, and everyone happened, and I strongly believe, like we as said, like reinvention is the word probably over here for the day, right? Reinvention is the only way out. I'll give you a very small example. When we started out, we started in the refurbished segment, right? It's a $1 billion play. 95% of it's great, right? But when we started, we realized none of the players out there, any structured or say the unstructured market, no one uses a value system to value the products when they procure, right? Even today, coal has a certain procurement value system out there. So we realized like there's a huge gap out there. What could we do? All we could do is probably go out there and build one. Once we have built one, today most of the MNCs out there in the world, right? They are using the same system. So
okay.
Yashwant,
I'm just going to interject.
Have you seen startups around you folding up? Are they under stress? Have you seen them getting the economic stimulus?
Absolutely. I've not seen anybody personally who have received the economic stimulus in cash, honestly speaking. The maximum that I would have seen is someone availing a moratorium for 4 to 5 months, and them receiving a notice saying that you have to repay the entire moratorium of the last 6 months on first, which is terrible to say the least. So let us not sugarcoat things. Today, India is the worst affected, fastest growing economy. And the government is seen as reporting the highest number of recoveries. But the fact is, we remain the highest number of cases out of control. Economy is spiraling out of control. In my sector, specifically speaking, in dine-in, like restaurants contribute to one of the largest jobs. Restaurant sector is one of the largest job creating sector in India. I would like to that only about 10 to 15% is the actual sale that is actually happening in a dine-in format at this point of time. So there are lakhs and hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs who have set up, invested crores and crores of rupees in the hope that they will make money, but forget making money. But today,
many of them are facing ruin.
10% of their revenues, they are facing huge losses.
Okay, I'm just going to do a small interjection before we have to take a break, guys. Birju Nayak, because some of these conversations, we are now at the risk of repeating ourselves. We've been having very similar conversations for 4 or 5 months. What has actually changed? How much water is already under the bridge? That, okay, this much damage we've seen, this is the worst that's had to happen, has already happened, and how much do you feel is yet to come?
Hello.
Yeah, Birju, go ahead.
Yes, you go on.
I think the way forward from here on is probably we have to be optimist. But I think government intervention is required actually at a business level, as I said, because there are very specific and sector specific traction that is.
Okay. So let's before we get into sector specifics, what would help in a company environment in which you work? Okay, fintech, what would the intervention be required? Would you like somebody to come and say, okay, your moratorium, forget the moratorium, your loan is being waived off? Would you like a check in the mail like the Americans have sent? What now needs to be done, given that we can still do something?
I think on behalf of Credin or specific business model we are operating in, I think my view would be bank participation is required because we have a limited capacity. We can reach out to limited number of people and probably our exposure is less. But I think fintechs are doing very good in India, but I think there is a less bank participation, which needs to be, I think,
capital.
Exactly.
More
Low cost capital
is the biggest enabler because the businesses will take some time to come back. So he's answering your question by saying we need more bank intervention, which translates into more credit at a macro level.
Yeah, been waiting for that credit to come our way.
We are reaching out to ecosystem, last mile customers, but I think we have a limited capacity and we have a limited appetite.
Okay,
So
there's a lot of money floating around in the world. It just doesn't happen to be floating around effectively enough in India. Again, this is a similar conversation to what we've been having for 4 or 5 months, waiting for the banks to get their money out there. All the money seems to be parked in the stock market, but it's not coming to the companies that need them. Iti Tyagi, given the space that we live in a dynamic world where we are capable of cogent intervention and action, all of us are, and certainly government is, where is it required now? Do we need checks to be sent out? Do we need welfare packages to be created and distributed? Do we need direct transfers? What do we need to happen?
So in the restaurant sector,
let Iti take that. Let Iti take that.
Ask Iti Tyagi unless until.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So this sounds very interesting. If I get checks directly in my bank and everybody gets it, who doesn't like it? But I don't think so it's going to work like that. And I think everybody has to start moving. While, things are moving slowly and gradually, everybody has to come out. They have to start taking these risks because this entire industry, everybody is connected to any other chain. This is the whole chain. So if I announce an event, there's an event company which will get involved. There will be thousands of people who will get involved. The artisans will get involved. The brands will get involved. When I bring the brands on board, then their further artisans, get involved. Then advertising start happening. So I don't think so that we're going to be waiting for anybody. We have to start, on our own. Everybody get together. Everybody get on board with this trust that we're going to make this happen.
Okay, but that's for us to do. No? I mean, government can't make us get on board. There's something that they can do, is something they can't.
I don't think so. We can ask much from government on this. I mean, what I only need from government is
Tyagi, would it be fair to say that if the checks have not come, at least the social measures, including providing food, distribution, etc., have at least prevented complete social distension?
I think for the social distancing also we have to be careful ourselves.
I've talked about distension, not distancing. A social breakdown hasn't happened in this country. We're not seeing widespread protesting, rioting, people out on the streets. So has something worked? Has the government at least got its food schemes, food distribution right to prevent all those things to the same people who are unemployed?
It won't be right to say that government has done nothing. I don't believe in that. Everybody must be trying in whatever level capacity they are trying. So, my artisans, when I spoke to them, I asked them, most of them told me they haven't slept hungry. They were helped in whatever capacity the help had to reach them. I'm talking about people in rural India. I'm not talking about you and me.
So at least we've got food across, but now we need to get, eventually government can't be doling out food for the rest of its term.
Absolutely.
It has to be people getting economic activity. Sonam, why don't you come in on this? What is the damage already done? That this is something we are over the hump, but there still remains potential damage that can be done in the past next couple of months. What's done? What do you fear now after this?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for that. I think I agree with Iti on that we're in the business of luxury. So we're the worst hit. When you talk about entertainment, you talk about events, you talk about weddings, you talk about experiential. We are on the bottom of the game when it comes to reopening of anything. For the effect to trickle down to us has taken extremely long. So my only request to the Honorable Government of India will just be to let events just start happening, let shoots start happening, have a set of SOPs, have a set of rules that we as law-abiding citizens are going to follow, because thousands and millions of people's employment and jobs depend on this.
Yeah, but
and like you rightly said,
but
we can't keep
but
distributing
Sonam, you
food
see,
forever.
that's what's happening right now. I mean, the metro has begun today. You have the fear that the cases are at a I think a world record high now. But we are getting on. We are not discussing the numbers every day because, frankly, it's become too depressing to discuss. We all want to get on with it. Preeti, how much is done that we can say, okay, we've bitten off this much, and this is now, calculated into our lives. We've all accepted that this is going to be a bad year. And how much is still fearing that it could become worse?
Well, it is getting really scary outside, but I think there has to be more awareness of how people can up their immunity. I've seen that a lot of people recover. So if we are sitting at home scared, I don't think our immunity is getting any better. We need to get out. We need to work definitely with social distancing and wearing your masks and gloves, sanitizers. But at the same time, do your haldi water, do your vitamin C, do everything that's possible. And the show must go on. We cannot be sitting at home for a year.
No, it's not possible. It's just not possible. So I think the acceptance is here that even though the record numbers, yeah, Anurag ji, go ahead.
I just want to say, Yashwant, on our show we've had people who have benefited from the economic package, maybe less than 10 in 4 months, but there have been people. The government has been refunding the tax money. The government has been doing its bit.
We are in an enthusiastic discussion, and it should be enthusiastic because all our fates are linked to these conversations. And more importantly, from the conversations, what we do to act on them. Anurag Batra, at a certain point of time, have we mentally moved on? I know physically we can't move on for obvious reasons because a dynamic risk exists. But mentally, are we sick and tired of this? Because I'm seeing now traffic, I'm seeing now restaurants populated, coffee shops being populated. I wish more people were wearing masks in them, but it's happening now. I think people are just sick. Is that going to have an impact on the economy?
I'll tell you, Rishabh, I'll be very honest. It was my birthday 2 weeks back. And, I did do a get together because I really wanted to get my friends together. And 50 odd friends of mine showed up. I mean, ideally, I shouldn't have done it. It's not right. But there is all of us are. But in the post doing that, I felt little, again, with the number of cases rising up, mentally there is a fear in the back of your mind. So it constrains you. Move one step forward, you move 2 steps backward. Because really the last thing you want to do is to be impacted. And, I have to tell you another story. Day before yesterday, I went to a prominent city hotel and I was coming out and I normally wear the mask all the time. But for that 10 seconds, I just lowered my mask and the police wala caught me and I had to convince him that I actually wear it. So now I have started to wear the mask much more.
Yeah.
So there is a fear psychosis. And while we see the traffic in Delhi, while we see restaurants have started to see at least 5-10% of the business, but I think a large number of people are still staying put in their homes.
Okay.
They are doing what is essential to be done, whether it's their jobs, whether it's grocery shopping, or it is an essential visit to a neighborhood GP. I think it will be another 30 to 60 days before you can see any semblance of normality.
Yeah, we don't know because we don't know. We are heading into October. We don't know what happened to the vaccine. It still promises, and it might take longer. It might take 6 months. Yashwant Nag, let's make a to-do list. We know the problems. We have learned a lot about the problems. Many of you as entrepreneurs, and whether working in businesses, running companies, or having or being self-employed professionals, have found the best adaptative solutions. But some things are not possible simply by ourselves. Yashwant Nag, what's the to-do list? If we are to come together with an economic plan, let's say at the end of this month or before Diwali, what should that have? What will help you?
So what will help the service sector, in my opinion, would be if the government would actually help in restructuring of the loans. A moratorium is just not enough for a lot of people.
Okay.
Restructuring of the loans would be a great start. Number 2, putting more money, discretionary amount of money in the consumer's hands. A lot of governments, including the United Kingdom, have been doing this. They're actually paying for people to sit and dine in restaurants, right? So if you go and dine in a restaurant, eat in a restaurant, so that the restaurants does not shut down, the business owner does not shut shop, the jobs will survive and so on. So I think these are great ideas. But
Okay, you've given us two. Loan restructuring is a very practical one. Birju Nayak, loan restructuring. For viewers watching, that doesn't mean moratorium, which your interest clocks up and then 6 months later you have to pay it. It means you restructure at a lower interest rate, part of your penalties get wiped out, you restructure for a longer duration, so your EMI remains the same, but you add a year at the back end. This is the kind of logic, Birju Nayak, that needs to be worked on?
Yeah, actually it is required because it is a sudden break. It is not the planned break. It is a sudden break due to the lockdown. So I think that is the best way forward.
Are you guys being able to, are you aware or being able to raise debt, if you had to raise debt, at lower interest rates than 6 months before? Is it happening?
Actually, that's not actually happening. I think it will take another quarter to bring back.
So despite all the RBI cuts and the interest subvention announcements, it's roughly the same. You haven't seen a 5-6% drop in your cost of capital. Okay, if you're raising debt. Iti Tyagi, do we need to send checks now to people? It might be in direct cash transfer. We've got these 30 crore Jan Dhan accounts, so we are capable of doing these transfers. Do we send a big tranche of money down and let people spend it?
I'm not in favor of that. I'm never in a favor of a free money, of anything like that. Because when you're talking of Jan Dhan account, you're talking also about many other facilities which are being done by government. Are we keeping account of all that? Or are we just seeing that what money has come and then how
we are keeping account, which is why we made the point about the food being given out, which is perhaps the biggest thing, because if you have economic distress, the immediate aftermath is social unrest. I was very worried for those 2 or 3 weeks with genuine cause, because people were desperate on the streets, but we managed to come together.
Everybody.
So
Everybody.
yes, we are counting for it, but getting demand moving, money has to go somewhere, right? To just get the economy moving.
I will
Where should it go?
I spoke to everybody in my industry, with the craftsmen or the event people or the designers or the brands. One thing which everybody was asking or just discussing was that we have to get back to the normal things only. We are not looking at money transferring into our accounts. That will be for a limited time. How much time can we survive? But we have to get into the business now. Once we get into the business, then things will start moving.
Okay, how?
Because ghar baithe, how much money can you eat?
Okay, so how? Okay, but to do a boost, which is the logic of Keynesian economics, that you do deficit spending in a time of crisis. And I'm being told by people in government that there is reserve, that we have the capacity, we are not wiped out, every gun is fired, that there is capacity to do further intervention. Satanik Roy, what would help? What would help? Give us a couple of things to a to-do list.
Needs it.
Okay, Satanik Roy, what would help? Give us a few things.
So first of all, we are not exactly back into the economy where there's a free flow of business and transactions happening. And that is the reason, like most of the, I believe Mr. Baksa has already spoken about this, most of the credit line has already moved out in the market. And today the debt structure is raising a debt from the bank is really tough. First of all, most of the banks have slowed down on giving you debts for businesses. On the other hand, because of the lockdown, etc., things have really gone for a
No, hang on. So you are saying banks are slowed down rather than speeded up?
Exactly.
Okay, why do you think? Is that for operational reasons? Because banks themselves have been hit by the lockdown? Is it for risk-taking reasons? Or do they simply don't have the capital?
I would say the first two. All right. I believe like most of the banks who have the capital are probably do not see less than 24 months, to go back to the real numbers happening once again.
Okay.
So they are reserving the cash a lot more.
Okay. So there are 3 ways to do this. There are 3 ways to do this. Okay.
And Rishabh, it can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
They take a loan when they don't have revenues. How will they service it? So one has to be cautious about getting a loan in
about easy money also. Yes, you have to be cautious. But there are 3 ways to do it. Either you pump in money into the banks and let the banks do the lending. Either you send in direct checks, so let people do the spending, and then therefore companies have greater revenue because there's greater demand, so they require less loans because they're able to service their requirements from their own income and revenues. And the third logic, of course, is to ensure that you are doing projects at a scale, at such a huge scale, whether it's infrastructure or otherwise, that you become the economic driver engine. all these three ways, and now a mix and match of all these threes are happening. Sonam, in the end, what would make a difference to your life? It is but obvious until you can actually go out there and the industry restarts. All of these will be temporary steps. But which temporary step would actually give you relief right now? Right now.
I think, Rishabh, couple of steps would give me a relief as an artist right now. First of all, we are not asking for moratoriums, but if the interest for this period could be waived off, that's all that I'm asking for. For now, I don't want interest period to be logged for 6 months because banks are actually charging interest on interest, which hasn't been paid. So in the end, we're actually going to end up paying more than less.
Yeah, you get
so
compounded,
if interest
yes.
could be waived off for this period, it will be great, number one. Number two, if events, shoots could start following SOPs, following rules. I know it's not safe, but we're all adults, we're all professionals, following, social distancing. It would make a sea of a difference to my life.
Okay, Preeti, when we were having this conversation 4-5 months ago when the lockdown was starting, practical things, right? People say, okay, I'm running a business. If the electricity company can waive off my electric bill or my license fee for now, as a big hotel, if I'm not using it, why am I paying for a bar license, electricity license? Help me with these things, practical things. What practical things can we still do, Preeti?
Well, absolutely. Just the way Sonam said, we all have EMIs, we all are paying loans, so the government needs to help us. The banks need to waive off the interest, and yes, the licenses and all of that have to be considered. At the same time, I feel events should happen, but precautions have to be taken. I think the government should...
Smaller size of gatherings like in...
Well, government should come up with an inspector. I feel this should be a new field, a new trained inspectors I've heard a lot of cases where parties, there were like 50 people who got virus. But then if we have an inspector at these parties whose sole job is to keep an eye on people who are maintaining social distancing, not a person from the hotel or the banquet, a government person. This is a new field. We will be willing to pay them. Why not?
Or maybe it's an entrepreneurship. Enforcing social distancing. It might be a new company coming up. And Anurag Batra's next year birthday party, hopefully this virus will be over, but we'll have to do it in shifts. You invite 50 people at lunch, 50 people for tea, 50 people for dinner.
will be throwing it for me.
Done. 50 people for lunch, 50 people for tea, 50 people for dinner, so that you can do appropriate social distancing. Okay, guys, we have a few minutes left. Anurag, I'll leave it to you for your rapid fire. Yeah.
Let me ask them 2 questions each, and I want very short answers to both. My first question to you, to all of you, is when do you see the Indian economy coming back fully? In 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months? And my second question to you is, what is that one learning as an entrepreneur that you got from COVID that will help you do your business better even once COVID goes away? So, Iti Tyagi, I'll start with you. Iti, when will
I think the economy, yes.
When will the Indian economy come back?
Mr. Batra, I think full-fledged when you say 12 months.
12 months. And what is that one thing that you learned in COVID that you didn't know or believe in before COVID, which will help you stay relevant even post-COVID?
COVID taught me that it's very...
Okay, I think we lost that line there.
Okay, Preeti Katpal.
Well, what I learned this time is we have to be aggressive. When we have work, we need to give it 100% and make savings. This is my rule for life now, that I'm going to always have savings and never put all my eggs in one basket.
Okay. Iti, we couldn't hear. And when do you think, Preeti, the economy will be back? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months?
No, 12 months. Easy 12 months. 6 months, I don't think things will be possible. 12 months is safe. 18 months, I think, is too much. 12 months, okay. Yes.
And Iti, you were telling us what is that one thing that you learned that will hold you in good stead throughout your life?
I think to be humble, to stand strong with your people, with your industry, to be compassionate towards everybody and not just to think about yourself. Because that's only can take you long. Once everything gets back, you have to get back to normal. So you have to work with the same people.
Absolutely. It's the time to build relationships, not worry about money. I was talking to a very large company that has raised more than $200 million in the last 6 months, on the course to raise another $300 million. And they said we made advertising free for our advertisers for 2 months.
Lovely.
They built solid relationship. Sonam, your view when the economy will come back? 6 months, 12 months, 18 months?
Dr. Batra, I think the economy will come back 6 months after the vaccine.
That's a good answer.
So that's what I feel. Number two, my takeaway from the lockdown and from this unprecedented times have been, when you, at the cost of repeating myself, when you can't go outside, just go inside, rediscover, reinvent yourself. And like you said, just human relationships are just so important. I've realized now, upskill yourself, learn, teach, just give back
Do
to
you
the
use
world.
a lipstick? Do you buy a lipstick or not?
Of course I buy lipsticks. Which
Really, Satanic, I've been proved right. You've been proved wrong. She did buy lipstick, okay? I didn't ask this question to Yashwant, but Satanic, where your sense of when the economy will be back? 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months?
I believe 12 months economy should be back. My learning from this COVID and this entire crisis was working from home. Work from home has been significantly growing across major corporations, etc. Right, where the productivity has increased. We have also seen the bonding. People love being at home, being with the family. Yet
I have a different view on that, and let me share it. I've shared it before. That you can't say productivity has gone up all across. People who are self-motivated, people who are entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, people, they continue to do well. The two problems of working from home is there is no boundary of working longer. Second, for productivity for everyone is not the same. And office is also an outing. It's meeting people. So we'll come back to that. Birju, your point of view on when the economy will be back and why? Birju?
I think 6 to 12 months. Within 6 to 12 months, economy will be back
You're
on.
clearly believing that the vaccine will come very soon.
Not about vaccine. Actually, recovery rate is actually very much good. And as I said, now accountability is on individual level. If you are following do's and don'ts, I don't think there is an issue.
Okay. And what is that one thing you learned that will help you throughout your life?
I think persistence and not to be fearful of any situation. You have to be alert. So we are operating in full capacity in our office from June, and as I said, accountability on individual level. We are following do's and don'ts, and it's working very much fine.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yashwant, now you have the last laugh. We started with you. One, when do you think the economy will be back fully? And second, what is that one learning in lockdown that will hold you in good stead throughout your life?
I think the economy will take 18 to 24 months to recover fully back to pre-COVID
The
levels.
most pessimistic person we met on our show.
But I think it will be 18 to 24 months. And
Why do you say that? On a serious note, why do you feel it will be that long?
no, because we are at minus 29% now. So we need to get back to zero and then plus 5 or plus 7 plus 8. It's really not.
Okay.
It's
But if the
almost
government
impossible
spends a
for that to
lot,
happen.
spends
I
on
hope
infrastructure, possibly that could happen faster.
it may. I really hope I'm wrong at this juncture. And the thing that I've learned here is that change is the only constant, because we were all so used to a certain lifestyle and certain things. Whatever we took for granted had just disappeared in air, just as a spoof of a virus. And of course, the other thing that I think everyone has realized is there is actually no value to money after a certain point of time. So how much ever you may be a billionaire or you may be a pauper, end of the day you are sitting at home. So that's one big realization that I've had.
So love your family, love the people you live with, or live with the people who you love.
That is something I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay, as all of us are and probably will be, that's the philosopher angle which we also need to cover. Well, it's been a fascinating conversation as always. My thanks to all of you for being part of it.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.